Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Women Are Worthy Network. I'm your host, Jacqueline Charles, the founder and the creator and the mother of Women Are Worthy Network. Listen to me, y'all. Y'all be having couple goals and celebrities that be looking fine. Wait till I tell you about this scrumpalicious lady, okay? So we have Miss Katrina Spagnoletti.
Yes.
Spagnoletti. Listen to me. I want y'all to listen to me. Listen, and I want y'all to look. So if you got on some spectacles, I want you to clean your spectacles, right? Because listen to this. Check this out. This gorgeous woman is a 50 plus author. Did y'all hear me? Let me go a little closer. 50 plus. She looks fabulous. She's also a motivational speaker, founder of Katrina Spagnoletti.com. She's a former, well, it makes sense. She's a former Mrs. Florida American 2020. So let me repeat that again. She's a former Mrs. Florida American 2020. What? You sure you're not Miss America? and she's also an international beauty, Queen Mrs. Queen of the World 2021. Yo, we got a beauty queen. And she's also the author of What My Mother Never Knew. It's a self-help book, and it's designed to help people who've suffered from childhood trauma, abuse, mental and physical abuse. Katrina is a survivor of abuse. Yeah. Now, the Women Are Worthy Network, we are so proud, we are so honored to have Miss Katrina Spagnoletti. Yes. Wait, before you say anything, wait a minute. I need you to turn, because when I tell you, you are looking fabulous, baby.
Fabulous. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love the energy that you put out. I mean, I think that's the best introduction with all that energy that I've ever had. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here.
Well, it's just, and we're honored to have you, because I wanted you to come on to talk about, the self-help book, and also how did you navigate, because in the world that we're living in right now, majority of the people are depressed. They're walking around with some sort of a mental issue, so to speak, whether it's depression, whatever it is, family issues. And you seem to have risen to the top. You're like cream. You rose to the top. You not only survive, you're also thriving. Can you give us some nuggets? I got my pen and my paper.
Well, just to let you know, even though my book is right above me, I actually have it here. It's called What My Mother Never Knew. And it is about me healing through childhood trauma. That is something that is all I'm gonna live with for the rest of my life. But I think the way that I thrived is actually starting the process of healing. Even when I didn't understand I was healing, I was healing. So, and I look back now and I look at the things and I'm like, yeah, I mean, everyone has it in them, every single person.
That's true. We all have some form of trauma, because we're all walking around with some trauma, whether we know it or not.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah.
And I want people to understand, I don't want people to beat themselves up, and I want people to start speaking, because that opens up the door and lessens your panic attack, because it can lead to panic attack, okay, because you're suppressing these things.
Absolutely.
So it's about time you come out. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Miss Katrina?
Well, I'm a 58-year-old grandmother, wife.
Wait a minute.
I recently turned 58 in June. When I won my first title as Mrs. Florida American, I was 56 years old, and I was competing against women 30 years my junior. So that right there was just amazing to me. I mean, that's something that I started pageantry with, is to show women of color, women that are over 40, that you are still beautiful. You're still sexy. You still can win. Your life has not like festered at all, unless you allow it to. And I don't allow myself to do that. But I'm also an author, an empowerment speaker. And I mean, I'm just loving life right now, living in Florida.
You said a mouthful right there that I want women to understand. You're over 50 and you want to show people that life doesn't stop at 50. It's not going to
Absolutely.
stop at 60 and a damn sure ain't going to stop at 70. You know, because there's this saying, 50 and fabulous. And Becky Smith has this thing, and I love her. She has this saying that she says it gets greater later. And I love that.
It really does. The last 4 years have been the most incredible year. I've grown so much in the last 4 years. At 53 years old, I did my first pageant, had no pageant experience. I had a few sessions with my coach. And again, I was competing against women 30 years my junior, and I was one of the only Black women on that stage in both pageants. I was second runner-up at 53 for Mrs. Virginia, and I came to Florida and I decided, why not give it a second chance? And so that's when I won at 56 years old.
What gave you the courage to, I'm going to go up there, I'm going to put on my bathing suit, I'm going to work out? Because it's very critical because they're judging your body. Yeah, your personality, but your body. Yeah. So how did you, because nowadays people are doing, and look, before y'all send me any emails, let me put it out there. I am not against anyone who wants to zhuzh up your body, meaning go to plastic surgery. I am not against that. Anything that's going to make you feel better, Katrina, that's what I feel. If it's gonna make you your self-esteem, go ahead and do it. Who am I to judge, But I think it's good that we start showing the younger generation, because everything is towards the millennials, right? And they hope to look like us, because I know I look damn good. So they hope to look like us at our age, So where did you get this spunk from and this gumption to, I'm going to do this?
Healing. It's all about healing. The first step to healing at 35, I was in a relationship. I was in a 16-year relationship with the father of my children. It was a very toxic relationship. And I used to think it was him, but it was me. Because when you're not healed, you really put the blame on everybody but yourself. But I started to say, okay, I wanted to be a better woman. What can I do? I found my faith. I found the wonderful faith. And then I just went on to get therapy. And I just started believing in myself a little bit more than what I thought I believed in myself. But it was falsehood, and a lot of us have that. A lot of us will carry ourselves a certain way, but inside we're like beating ourselves up. And that was me. But when I finally got the courage to leave my third husband, yes, I said third husband, I realized that, I understand what fear is. I understood what fear was when I was younger, when I was going through the abuse, but I knew what fear was when I thought that I was going to be homeless. And once I decided to be strong enough to get out of a relationship and be on my own and take care of everything on my own, there's nothing that fears me anymore. I started that road to being healthy through therapy, through fitness, through eating right, through just seeing a change in myself. It wasn't something that I said, okay, I'm brave enough to do this. It's just something I wanted to do, and I did it. Because when you try, that's when you can see the results. I just tried. I was like, okay, I'll try.
Because you can't lose, because at least you're trying. There's no such thing as failure when you're trying something. What I love about you is I see that zest for life. I see you're glowing, and it's not just for me. I don't just see the glow and like maybe it's a tan because she's in Florida. I don't see that. I don't see a self-tanner. I actually see an inner glow, and it's coming from your eyes. That's what I see. And you can speak to so many women, because so often, and I try to remind women that we come first. We're so busy, we're caregivers, we're taking care of everyone, and we're not taking care of ourselves. And when you turn around and look at some women, I'm going to say, they look like they've aged 30 years, and the husband looks fine as heck, the children look great, and they look like the grandmama, and it's important. There I go with my mouth again. But it's important that we start taking care of ourselves. Definitely. So why do you think it's important that we do that?
Because if we don't take care of ourselves, you think we can take care of anyone else? We're not going to be happy. We will not be happy. I was one of the best times of my life was raising my children. But I have to admit, there were some times, and I think with all women, it's like that. You just get so overwhelmed because you're losing who you are. I remember telling a friend a few days ago, a mother, she was an empty nester just like me, and it took me 2 years to realize I didn't have to go home to cook dinner for anybody, because we lose ourselves and we don't know how to get ourselves back. And once you start doing new things for yourself, I mean, it could be as small as going to a movie by yourself, or having lunch, taking yourself out on a date, or going shopping just with no one, to get yourself back. But you've got to get yourself back. You really have to find yourself again. And it's a better you, because we've matured. We have experience now. So you're going to have a better you.
And it's important to do this, for me, when your child is in the household, because sometimes when you don't find yourself and the child moves out and you're living with a significant other, you then start to cling towards that person and crowd their space. So what I do is, I love taking my, see, look, I'm one of those, I can go anywhere by myself because I've never met a stranger. As you can see, I love to talk. So what I have done, and I do it many times, I'll go to the movie, I'll go to a restaurant, if my husband's doing other things, and he'll say, just go ahead, or just, let's do it together, but I want to go now. Or I'll go to places that he doesn't want to go, so it'll be fun. Since we can do things together, but things that I like to do that he doesn't like to do, I'll go by myself. Girl, I would go to restaurants. I'll put my compact mirror on the table. First of all, when I go to the restaurant, I ask for two, a table for two. So when I go in and they're like, is your other person coming? I'm like, yeah, she's here. So they're like looking at me like I'm bipolar. So what I do is I put my compact on the table, and I'm looking at myself and I'm like, you gorgeous thing, you. I'm having a conversation. The poor wait staff thinks I'm Looney Tunes. And I'm having this conversation because, Katrina, I love me. I want to be my best friend. Okay. I just love the skin that I'm in, the older I get, because I've gone through trauma, and it took so much for me to love myself. And I think I did, but I didn't know how much of a good person I was, and I am, that now no one can knock this down. I'm so up there, you can't knock me down. So I feed my soul,
I think a lot of people need to understand we're catching up. We're catching up. And I tell my husband all the time, I had such a miserable childhood. I'm not going to do that to myself. I have control over how I feel. I have control over my life now. So I'm not going to be miserable. I don't care what is going on in this world. You're not going to get me miserable. Misery will not have my company.
I love that, because I have friends who, they're all over the news, they're watching the news and they're depressed. And some will tell me, you're always smiling.
No.
Katrina, for my mental health, I can't afford to get sucked into it. It's bad enough that you may have death that includes your family member because of the virus and other things coming up. I can't afford to let what's going on, whether it's politics or what's going on in other countries or even in this country, I can't, my soul refused to allow that to happen, because the minute I do that, it's going to be destruction to my body.
I mean, living with depression, it's not a good thing. It's not a good feeling, and we recognize that. A lot of people live with depression, and they just love living with depression. They don't know how to feel anything differently. It's funny, because my husband was the editor of my book. And I remember we were driving one day, because he learned so much about me. He understood my habits now. He understood Katrina a lot more than a lot of people could ever understand. He lives with me. He sees my habits. It was odd to him. But then when he started reading my book and editing my book, he really understood. But there was a question he asked me. One day we were coming down 41, and he had said, out of a month, how many times do you, because I tell him I wake up depressed. I'll wake up depressed sometimes, and I have to deal with it by myself before he gets up. He said, how many times do you wake up depressed in a month? And I no, how many days do you not wake up depressed in a month? And I said 4. He said, no, sweetheart, I don't think you heard my question right. How many days out of a month do you not wake up depressed? And I said, I would say 4. And I said, Tony, you don't understand. When I keep telling you that I don't know what's going to happen the next day, something could trigger me that our conversation could trigger me, and I have no clue. And you sleep on it, and we wake up, and it's just this empty feeling inside. And you just go, okay, I'm healthy. I understand how to deal with this. You get up, you're by yourself, you analyze, you process, and then you just go on with your life. And he doesn't understand that. Like, he doesn't understand because he doesn't deal with that type of depression. But being a healthy person, you know how to get out of it. You don't live with it. You don't stay in that house. You open that door and you head out. And that's exactly what I was taught to do.
See, I wasn't labeled clinically depressed. I was getting panic attacks. And that's still a form of, in my opinion, still depression.
Okay,
But
absolutely.
I would get panic attacks, and it's because being a type A person, want to control things, or things become overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've learned to do, like, and I'm going to talk about it on Wednesday, I went to see, because of my trauma, I went to see the Woman King. And it was a great movie. When I tell you the next day I couldn't get out of bed, it triggered something in me. And I consider this is what healed looks like, but you still have pieces of you that it's still there, right? And I was like, my body was drained, and being an empath, oh my God, my body was drained. It was just so much going on. And I finally said, no, I'm getting up. I'm going to the beach. I'm going to sit by the lake and the water. And that's what I did, because I had to do that, because I know when it's coming, that I know. And like you said, so I understand when you say 4, and then when your phone clicks off and it's something major, or an explosion, death, shooting spree. And you're like, oh my God, people don't understand what it takes to stay in this role that we're in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one thing that I do, and I'm so glad that I discovered that fitness is everything when it comes to my depression. People will see me out in the gym, they'll see me roller skating, because that's my thing, roller skating, but they don't understand the bigger picture to me. I have to keep active. That is part of healing through trauma. You have to keep active. You have to keep yourself busy, and you have to have fun. And that's the first thing I tell anyone if they're suffering from depression. I'm like, you've got to keep busy. You've got to find something. You've got to have a goal. You've got to be excited about life, because if you're not excited about life, you're not going to love life, and you're not going to be here to enjoy your life. I understand that dark place. At 15, I tried to commit suicide, because I didn't know what to do when it came to my trauma. I didn't know how to get out of it. And, it was something that I was so convinced would fix everything in my life. But as you can see, I survived it. I'm good.
Thank God for the universe that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When you're so shut in with darkness, you cannot see that switch. You cannot see that light switch to get that light there. And every time I hear about someone committing suicide, like Chesley Chris, the 2019 Miss USA, when I heard about that, I think I had a different feeling than so many other people. I had a feeling of, oh my God, the darkness that she must have lived in. And everything made sense. What I saw on her social media, how strong she was, how happy she was, how energetic she was, how busy she was, how determined she was. It was like that's what we live. And some people, they give into that depression. And she was the one who gave into it. And my heart broke for her mother.
Yes.
It broke for her mother. And I see her mother all the time, putting out things on social media about her. I've talked to her mother about depression. It's just, that darkness is
It's real.
It's real. It's like when you feel so calm about death, it's not scary. And I don't ever want to be there anymore. I don't want to be not afraid of that death. You know what I mean? I don't ever want to live life being okay. It's good to die, because I wouldn't have the life I have
now. That's what people, that's what people need to realize.
That all the time. If that 15-year-old girl would have succeeded I wouldn't have had a grandchild I love. I wouldn't have had a husband that I love. I wouldn't have experienced the life that I've lived and that I'm living. Like, if we could see beyond the depression and beyond those suicidal thoughts of, you know, this is what's gonna where we're gonna be. We're gonna find so much love that surrounds us, and we're talking about children. We're talking about grandchildren. I think a lot of us would definitely back away and really get that healing process going.
Well, here's the thing that I think that also we need that plays into it. She was an overachiever. She was an attorney.
Absolutely. Yeah.
She hurt herself. Here's the thing. What people don't realize, and I want our women to tap into this.
Yes.
Strong women bleed too. Strong women need help. It's so often I can just see watching her personality. Nice. I think she was on Extra or something, one of those shows.
Yeah.
Or Entertainment Tonight. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
She appeared to me the person that people would go to when they were in trouble, and she fixed whatever was going on. Maybe, and I'm just assuming here, maybe people weren't tapping into her because she was so strong to say, are you okay? What do you need? Because they drop hints when something is going on. You know, you drop hints when you really want to hurt yourself. You don't just, you know, but people sometimes miss it because we're considered strong. And oh, please, you okay? It's all good. When it's not that way. So, and that's what, especially African American community, where, you know, some of us don't believe in therapy. We believe in, girl, just pray, go to church. That's not enough. Praying without works will not help. So you can pray all you want, but if you don't do the work, whether it's therapy or whatever, it's not going to work. So you know, that's one of the messages I want people to understand. It's okay not to be okay, but you cannot be okay every single day. Not okay.
But you can't not be okay in silence. Right. You have to tell someone. Yes. You have to. One of my biggest fears was that my kids, and I don't know why I was so strong-headed on this, that maybe I would lose one of my kids to suicide. And my biggest thing was making sure they were happy and they were loved, because I know that was a big reason of why all this happened to me, is because I had a lack of love from the people who were truly supposed to love me, and people who took advantage of me as a child. They saw this broken child from the mental abuse that was going on as well, and they knew that I was the perfect person to go after. But you know, now I just sit there. I was overprotective with my children, which was good. There was a voice saying, let it go, let them go, let them go. So I had a balance. But that was always my biggest fear, because I know the sadness that comes with that. And I wanted them to be happy. You know, I put the stick on them, but I wanted them to be happy. And it's a complicated thing. It really is.
What advice would you give someone right now who's suffering? Because we have to use the word, instead of the S word, we have to say hurt themselves. Okay. Mm-hmm. So what advice would you give someone who's watching and the dark clouds are coming and they're thinking about possibly hurting themselves? That's one. And how to get into fitness. You know, like, because you have some people that's sitting on the fence tomorrow. But I agree with you when you said that when I don't work out for a while, my mind starts to get cloudy. I get irritable. And yeah, so I agree with you on that. Mm-hmm.
Well, there's so many things that I would say, so many things, but I think the biggest one is use your voice. You've got to use your voice. You've got to find that right person and use your voice and let them know. Just be vulnerable and bleed your words. Just say everything that's in your heart, but make sure you do it with someone who is non-judgmental, because that's the most important thing. Because I've spoken to people and they've thrown it back in my face. They have thrown it in my face. So you've got to find the right person, and who the right person will be is, you know, in your heart. That person that's always been there for you through your, because when you're toxic, honey, and people are still around, those are the people. Those are your humans right there. Those are the people, because they're the ones who do not judge you. They really don't. But you have to talk. You have to say something, because if you keep it bottled inside, it's only going to destroy you.
And about working out?
Working out, I just did a video that I'm going to be posting on my Instagram. It's so cool.
You talking about the roller skating video?
I love my roller skating,
Okay.
but it's how to be motivated to work out. You have to be motivated. You have to make it fun. I absolutely enjoy going to the gym. I enjoy it. And I don't know why I do. I think it's because it's just something that I do. And I know that I'm just gonna feel good. It's like my drug. I know I'm gonna feel good afterwards. And I love the results that it gives, and it just makes me happy. And I think the reason that I did is because I know what the results look like. And that's my goal, is knowing what those results look like. And knowing that I can be around for my grandson more. I'm not going to die of a heart attack tomorrow. I'm going to be there for him. I'm going to see him graduate. I look forward to that with my kids when they were little. Now I have a grandson to look forward to seeing that too. But you have to create a habit, and you have to do something fun. I'm actually in the process of starting my second book just about that, about how to get yourself motivated to go to the gym, how to make your life the life that you want. And there's so many little things that I do and that I've done that I know it's going to help so many people. But I would say make sure that you create that habit in 21 days, and in 90 days it becomes a lifestyle. And that is something that you really have to do. It's great for mental health. Forget about the physical. The mental is what I focus on more than anything. Yeah.
Because there's times when I get up, when I'm walking with the ladies, I don't want to walk. And there's sometimes I'm not feeling good, but girl, when I'm on mile 4, I'm feeling good, and I'm feeling lighter and lighter. Because sometimes I would walk and not say anything because I'm processing things in my head.
Yeah.
And and then so when I'm in mile 4, because we walked the 6 miles, I'm like, wow, and I'm feeling so much better. So now I said this week, because we would walk like at 5:45 in the morning. So what I'm doing now is, because I have to do a lot of work. I got everything covered. So I'm carving out time where I'm actually going back into the GYM and use the weights, because 2 things I'm addicted to, and I'm okay. My name is Jacqueline Charles. I have no problem to say my addiction. I'm addicted to, when I do go to the gym, because my trainer, she was the one that was the pusher on this, so she's the pusher. The Smith machine.
Yes.
I'm addicted to that now. Yeah. I didn't realize. So I have a partial torn rotator cuff, but I'm not not doing surgery. I'm doing something else. And I'm not letting that stop me. Why would I let my shoulders stop me when I can work on my legs? I can work on my abs. I can work on my other, I'm not doing that. And it's only certain range of motion. And then the other machine I'm addicted to, we have a love-hate relationship. I'm having an affair with this relationship. My husband's okay with it. I call it the monster.
Uh-huh.
The monster is, it's like a staircase, and it's like 7 feet high, and it's a killer. But it brings up the booty now. It really works. But I just have this, so when I go in, like if I haven't been there for a while, I'm like, hey, baby. And I videotape myself. How you doing? Mama's back. We're married. So I make gym fun, because I go early in the morning, like anywhere from 3 to 5 in the morning. Wow. So I make it, I have to make it fun for me. I can't just go. I have to make it fun, and I have to talk to the machine, caress the machine. Not enough to get busted or get in trouble now, but I have to make it fun, because that's just who I am. I'm a fun person, and I just have to make it fun. So you are. So what tips in the gym, would you suggest for that most women, like what machine? I know it's all machines. So my question to you, what's your favorite machine in the gym?
My favorite machine is definitely the cable crossover. It's less chance for injury, because if I'm in there by myself, I want to make sure that I don't overdo it and hurt anything, because I've done that before. So it's the cable crossover, and you can do a complete workout in the cable crossover. But I want to give everyone a tip, because I think this is so important. I used to be a personal trainer. I was a GM of a gym. And one thing that I noticed more than anything when it came to the women coming into the gym. They didn't know what they were going to do when they came into the gym. They would hire me, but if they didn't hire me or they didn't use their voice to tell me anything, they would stop coming because they felt embarrassed. They thought people were looking at them, and they didn't know what they were doing. And that really taught me that we have to teach these women what to do, how to plan. And what I did is I actually go into social media, Instagram especially, and you know how you can save posts.
Mm-hmm.
I have a special folder for fitness, and I will go through. But now I'll hashtag booty workouts, hashtag chest, hashtag cable crossover workouts, and I will save those workouts for the next day. It's telling you what to do. That's your personal trainer. So women, if you guys don't know what you're doing, if you want to give up, if you want to have fun, plan your workout with videos from Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I do it every day.
And it's no excuse, because now at certain gyms you can do video, you can put your phone to, and it's not only what to do, how to use the machines.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And then we have this other thing where I want you to dispel this rumor, because I keep hearing it and it's driving me batty. Can you please dispel the rumor about when women work out with weights, they won't bulk up?
Well, women don't have enough. We have estrogen. We don't have, and I'm gonna say the word so wrong. Testosterone.
Testosterone.
Testosterone. I can never say that word. We are not. We don't bulk up. But I will say there are certain women who can bulk up, but it is very, very rare. It's very rare. Just make sure you have your protein. It will help you lean. Make sure that you're not lifting too many weights. You don't have to have a lot of weight in order to look good. Do something you're comfortable with. And I would say do supersets, because I think that's so important to keep that cardio going, because you're burning while you're toning. I think that's the best workout for a woman. You just don't want to go in there and like try to form those muscles by working like a man. We're women. We have women's bodies. We want to do cardio. I mean, men, my husband can go in and just lift weights and lose weight. I can't do that. We can't do that. We have to do cardio. Yeah, we have to do. And supersets are the best. It's the best.
And what I like right now is, because I love squats. I can do what I love squats. That's my favorite exercise, and I love the bands. Yeah. I love the woven bands, not the elasticy one, but the woven bands. Uh-huh. I love those because that's so good. So for me, I have a birthday coming up in January. So I said, you know what? I just want to challenge myself to see how much better I can get from now to January. I'm not in competition with anyone else, just myself.
Absolutely.
And because I want to see, because I'm vain. I ain't going to say I'm doing it because I want help. I'm doing it because I want to look good. Okay?
Yeah, we all are vain.
So now the upside to that is you look good, or not just, and the premiere is you're healthier. Your heart is beating, and right now we need to start going to the gym or exercising, because we don't know what else is out there, what other health issues are out there that you need to be in good health. Because one of the things I've always said, don't judge me, y'all, I'm a work in progress. I never wanted to be so heavy that the fire department would have to get that thing to put me outside of the window, because I've had this thing ever since I was small, because I saw that when I was little with one of our neighbors. So I said, oh my, and I heard the remarks these men made about that lady. I mean, I'm nowhere near that, but it's just like, I just want to get back into being Jackie, because I already know I'm fly now. So I'm like, woo, the world is not going to be able to take me. But like I said, and when I hear people tell me, well, Jackie, you're being so cocky, and it's not cocky. This is what you do when you love yourself. And when you love yourself, you can love others. So the amount of loving that I show you, why shouldn't I show it to myself?
Exactly. I mean, I know what it's like not to love myself. It don't feel good. And, if people just can't take it, I mean, it's easy to not be around me. It really is. So
You can
it's
check out
I
because
don't get that. I don't get a lot of your cocky or anything. I'm very blessed. I think a lot of people understand, I have a very, very good heart. Every day I try to make sure that I'm the best that I can be for not only myself but for other people around me, because they don't deserve anything else but the best. And that's just how I feel. If I'm going to be your friend, if you're going to be around me, if you're a stranger who treats me well, you deserve to have the greatest Katrina that you possibly can have. And I have to give that to you because I know what it's like to be a great person because I live with me every day. Now my husband might debate that, but he has said I'm the nicest person he's ever met in his life.
you know, I, my husband said one of the reasons he wanted to marry me was I was the first woman that he met that never gossiped about other women.
Oh,
That
definitely.
if I had something to say to a woman, I would say it to her,
Yeah.
and then say, and I didn't understand it when he meant that, but then being around, because I was a guy's girl, I wasn't a girl's girl.
Uh-huh.
And then when I started hanging around women and seeing the cattiness, and so for me, what I decided to do, instead of talking about it, why not be about it? Be
Yeah.
an example to other women on what I want to be, because I don't want to sit there, because I tell people I'm allergic to negativity. I break out in hives, so I can't be around that, because and I love being around beautiful women. I think all women are beautiful. I don't care what you think about yourself. We're all beautiful. So why should I feel intimidated when I see someone beautiful? I'm always giving women compliments because some women, that may be the only compliment that they're hearing for that day,
Yeah.
So I try to give compliments to women and actually mean it, because if you win, Katrina, I win, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I love seeing a beautiful woman. I get excited when I see a beautiful woman, especially a beautiful Black woman, because that's a reflection on me, and I love it. I absolutely love it, and I want to be that woman. I think that's why I started pageantry, because, like I said, I wanted women, especially women over 40. But I've had so many women in their 20s or whatever just telling me how much I inspire them. I get hit up by Miss USA's, and they will say, and these are young, beautiful girls, these are USA girls, and they're telling me that I inspired them. And that's what this is all about. Life is about inspiring so many, because we need that nowadays.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's getting a little better, but this world it's just been difficult to live here. My goodness. And we need to be that example. I tell my husband, because I'll tell him stories of when I was out, or what things people might do to me, that I've ended my friendship with. And he's like, well, I would have said this. And I said, but why? Why? Why am I going to go and tell that person something they already know? It's a waste of time. So instead, I just let that person go. It's not, I just kindly let them know that this is not really the relationship that is a healthy relationship for me. And I'm done.
And that's what women need to do, because for me it's just like a marriage. If I consider you, one of mine, because you have your inner circle and your outer circle, you have friends, and then you have, acquaintances. So if I consider you in my inner circle, I give you a chance to get to know me, I get to know you. It's like we're dating kind of a thing, because it is a relationship.
Yeah, it really is.
And I treat people very well. But when I see you start acting shady towards me for whatever reason, because I tell people, you don't want to mess with me, because I'm God blessed. I'm God blessed. Because if you mess with me later on, you're gonna find out, like, oh my God, why did this happen? Why? It's because you mess with God's property.
And
So
it's shocking to them. It's very
they
shocking.
don't get it. They don't get it.
Like when you warn them, because I tell people, just as nice as I am, it's as mean as I am. But you got to get me to be mean. And it's not going to be like I'm going to cuss you out. I'm just basically going to say, we're done. I'm done. I mean, it's nothing wrong with that. Why would I live in toxicity with another person? If I'm treating you this way, then you can either, fix what's going on with us, or we don't need to talk. And I think that comes with maturity. Because I think if we were younger, we'd kind of be like, yeah, I'm just going to ghost that person. No, you got to let them know that it's, I don't want someone calling me that we are in this thing about you're saying being disrespectful or whatever. Because I'm not going to give you a part. I'm not going to give that part to you. I refuse to allow someone to get me to a point where I'm going to get off the phone, or I'm going to be in a situation where I feel bad because it's not about that person that I get upset about. It's myself for stooping to that level. And I had to tell my husband that. I had to tell him when we first got together, you're going through your growing pains, you're arguing. I might have said it, and I just stopped arguing. I'm like, you realize I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at myself for giving into that negativity.
The energy and
Yeah.
you taking you out of that character.
That's a hard, and I have absolutely no problem with apologizing to anyone, because I believe just because you apologize doesn't mean you're wrong. It's you're wrong for hurting that person, having that part and hurting that person, whether they make up in their mind or they perceive something that you said wrong. You are part of that. And I have no problem with saying, I am sorry for the way I made you feel. Now, I might still think I'm right, but I'm sorry about the way I made you feel.
Right. You're still right. But again, we can't control how they feel. And we do apologize, because I'm with you on that. Because for me, I would go to a person that when I was younger, and I would bless them out. Okay. In the name of Jesus, I would bless them out. But then when I got older, I said, Jackie, why are you wasting that energy? No. It doesn't make sense. Have a conversation with them. So I have this thing like every November, I have conversation with friends that are some issues going on, or, I feel a little disrespected, or, because, it happens, not that it should, but it happens. And sometimes they're not aware of it, as well.
Yeah.
So I'll have a conversation. Then in December, if it's still happening, you get a letter. Around Valentine's Day.
I love it.
I done deleted you. I done blocked you. I done did everything. Because before, I would cut you out without telling you anything. So one day I had a conversation with myself, the most wisest person that I know. And I said, you're cutting them out, Jackie, and they have no clue. You have to give people a chance to either change, want to be in your, and you know what, Jackie, it may not be them, it may be you. So have this conversation with them to see who it is. And if they're telling you, well, oh, I'm sorry, but they keep saying, I'm sorry. I mean, I had one of my friends called me and she says, Jackie, let's say, for example, Lisa, she's been trying to get a hold of you. She can't get a hold of you. I have her on the line. She's on the line. I said, wait a minute. Lisa's on the line? And she's like, yeah. I said, okay, hold on for a second. Hung up, blocked her too. Because she knew. Because Lisa went to her and told her, like, can you talk to Jackie? So I don't play that. Don't call me and put someone on the line. So I killed two birds with one stone that day. So I don't know what happened to them. I still pray for them, wish them well. If I see them in the street, hi, how you doing? Don't huggy, don't kissy, none of that. Like, hey, I don't want that energy. So it was so funny. So she's calling it around town. Lisa's like, Jackie blocked me. And everyone's like, you know how Jackie is. She don't play. I'm like, nope, I'm not even putting you in the punishment corner. And I'm not saying that I'm all of that. But one thing, Katrina, I do, and I think you're like that, I give my all. Yes. I wear my heart on my sleeves. I give my all. But when I see you abusing me, I gotta cut you out, because I gotta make room for someone who appreciates it,
Loyalty is everything to me, and it is, and I'm gonna be very, very loyal to you. And I've had conversations with other women that we're texting, and they might think I'm upset, or I might think that they're upset, and my friends are mature enough to say, I love you to death, Katrina. I disagree, and those are friends. And to me, that's a true friend.
Yes.
One that is I've got so many friends like that. I've had a friend that I was pushing back, and she came to my house, and she was like, my husband and I, we love you to death, you and Tony to death. And I'm like, okay. And so she's like, she knew that there was something going on, and I told her what she did and not to ever do it. And I'm gonna tell you, she's never done that ever. And it makes me closer to her, as a matter of fact. It's like, now you've become my sister. because now I know that I can come to you with anything and you're not going to get upset at me. I can actually voice what's going on without having to argue with you. And that's what I truly believe, that's loyalty. That is a definite loyal thing to do.
You need friends that can call you on your BS
Hmm.
and you not have an attitude with them
Yeah,
because you know they love you.
absolutely. Yeah.
Vice versa. Those are the ones I respect and I love because look, it's easy for me to just do stuff. But when you call me, I'm like, you ain't all of that, Jackie. Come on over here. Because you need those couple of friends that
Absolutely.
let you
Yeah.
know, like, look, you are acting, nah, you taking it to the next level. Stop. We don't give you that all those yes people around you. Stop.
Yeah,
So
that was
when they,
cute when we were younger. It's not cute. I don't want anybody who's yes. I need to.
yes.
I need to learn me, and the only people who are gonna tell me are the people who love me, the people who are not afraid to lose my friendship.
And strong women too, because I noticed I gravitate towards strong women,
Definitely.
and nothing against the women who aren't strong, but I don't have a problem if you know, because anybody can call me about anything and say, hey, I want to have a conversation with you, because what is it going to hurt? Now my time is valuable. Now don't get me wrong, I don't want to spend time talking about foolishness that we talked about 5 times. We're not going to do that, but I am open to having conversations because I truly believe that people are good. I was talking to my best friend today, and he said, nice guys finish last. And I said, don't use your experience with
Yeah.
what you're going through to believe that. I am
Don't
an
believe that.
optimist. I don't want to believe that.
Yeah, I know. I don't believe it. I'll tell you. I've been living a very very good life, and things are going to happen for you if you let them happen. If you work towards them happening, it has nothing to do with being good or bad. And I think if you're good, it's going to happen even more because you're not going to be worried about what you're going to do to somebody else. You're going to be on your stuff and you're going to do what you need to do. And that's what that strength is. It's not always about someone who is there for someone. Strength is about someone who is out in their community and showing people that you can be a great person no matter you can be a strong, successful, amazing person no matter what has happened to you. And a strong person is someone who can tell the world what has happened to them. And I became strong when I wrote my book. That was the hardest thing that I ever done in my life, ever. And it was like, now it's like second nature. It's like I would tell my story forever, but I want to try to rear off of the details and more into, you see this person right here. This person's fine. In my book, the first paragraph is, you're gonna want to feel sorry for me. But this girl turned out to be a queen. You
Mhm.
don't have to feel sorry for this chick at all because she is all good and her life is amazing. And unfortunately, I had to go through it in order to be who I am. I don't know if I would have still been this person without going through it, but I have to own the fact that I went through it and say, okay, I'm good. Everything's good. I'm not gonna regret anything. I'm not gonna hate anyone. I love myself too much to worry about what people did to me. I'm just going to use that as an avenue to open up my heart and say, listen, you've got this queen here, this person who is positive, this person who loves to help her community, this person who loves to tell her story. This is the person you should be worried about, not that little girl. Those little girls are gone. They'll always be on my shoulder because I'm always going to remember them. I let them down. I let them down for so many years. Right now, I'm living in a life with those two little girls, that 5-year-old and that teenage 15-year-old. I'm not going to let them down anymore. I truly am. And I'm truly not. And the only way that I don't let them down is continue to live the life that I'm living today.
You are just inspirational, motivational, and a bag of chips. Okay, bag of chips. I am so proud to have met you, to have this conversation, because
Definitely.
I think these are conversations that women need to have with each other. I think it's so important to our mental space because then we can become great leaders in our community. We can be better mothers, better wives, better mother of children, single moms, whatever it is. Why do you think it's important that women support each other?
Because we need to build that empire. And I haven't seen Woman King. Is that the name of the movie?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go see it on Sunday when my husband's watching football. But I've heard so many great things about it. But from what I can see from the trailers, it looks like she's a leader and she is inspiring other women to fight. We live the Woman King every day, and that's why it's important. That is why it's important for us to be leaders and to support each other and support other women. You know, I did a series on my Instagram about 30 ways to empower other women. And a lot of it had to do with supporting, the smallest things on social media, liking their posts, commenting, supporting women's businesses, bringing on women. You created a podcast to support women, to have women who you feel are strong and inspiring there right beside you to inspire other women. I mean, we're tag teaming right now. This is important because once we get off of this, we're going to feel good. We're going to feel better. We're going to want to go harder on what we need to do because we are actually communicating that inspiration to other women. And in turn, we're putting it back into our system. You know, we're regurgitating it. And it feels good to get off of a podcast that's positive. And I want to do more for other women, even more for other women. That's why it's important for us to inspire other women and to be that girl gang.
I agree. I definitely agree with you because for me, I'm not all about competition. I'm all about collaboration.
Definitely.
You know, I'm all about collaboration. I'm all about completion because when you collaborate with someone, you can help them complete whatever their goals are and on and on and on. So that's why I chose, because people are like, well, why don't you get more celebrities or whatever? And I'm hearing that from men. And I'm like, you know what? Let me tell you something. Everyone I have on my platform is a celebrity. And they're like, explain it. I said, let me explain it. Let me break it down to you since you're trying to mansplain. Let me explain. Let me woman-splain it to you. Every woman on my platform has signed a check, has signed their name to something. That's an autograph. That's one of the definitions of being a celebrity. Okay. So make no mistake. We have households, we do things. And so, the gentleman, it's like, wow, I never thought about it like that. I said, because you never ran into someone like me before. That's the problem. Okay. So let's change the narrative. Every woman is a celebrity in her own right. And as long as you're positive or you're looking to come over to this side, I'm here to support you. I'm always supporting women. So, Katrina, I just love, what you're doing, why you're doing it. And, for those of you subscribe, comment, share, because in order to build this, we want to make this platform bigger. We want to do more things. So we ask people to do that, so please share the platform. Please subscribe. Please support what we're doing, because at the end of the day, we're all in the same book, just different chapters.
Absolutely.
That's what it boils down to. So we want to thank our phenomenal 58 years young tenderoni for being on our show. We want to thank everyone. Please tune in tomorrow for our show. Tune in at 7 p.m. It's posted out there. So again, we want to thank everyone for tuning in. Please remember, we want you to hydrate. We want you to exercise. We want you to take that time for mental health. Take that time for yourself. It's okay to take that time for yourself so you can help others. You can help your family. But take that mental time by yourself. You don't need anyone else, just yourself. Please take that time. And if you need to seek help, please reach out. There's 800 numbers out there. Don't be afraid. That's the worst thing you can do, is not speak up. Use your voice to speak up, speak out, and show out. Okay?
Definitely.
So we want to thank everyone. Thank you, ma'am, for tuning in. We appreciate you. You're just fabulous.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'm so honored. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.